about you and your dreams and visions for improving the world. We're going to be talking about entrepreneurship, how to raise money for startup companies, how you can go out and find those angel investors that are mysteriously supposedly lurking in the bushes, and how you can raise that money to help you build a company that solves problems and hopefully makes the world a better place and maybe makes you some money in the meantime as well. So if you're reorienting your career, or you're a serial entrepreneur, or you're an angel investor, a venture capitalist, or maybe a service provider, somebody who likes to help startups, you're all welcome here. That's what the Startup Council is about. We have a big tent. We're trying to help everybody. It's a rising tide lifts all the boats sort of approach. And I've been doing this for a long time, so I'm happy to see you here today with us. We're going to spend an hour or so just trying to help each other, essentially. This is really about building community, because there are so many folks who want to participate in the digital revolution, and yet we really find that the information is not equally distributed. There's lots of expertise in the world, but there's not enough sharing of that information, quite honestly. So that's why I've been doing this show. That's why I wrote these books, for example. These are the three in the middle are in English. These are all kinds of foreign translations around the world. So if you've read one of my books about entrepreneurship, welcome. I'm a serial internet entrepreneur. I've been doing this for about 25 years, actually, and I've raised money and I've lost money and I've made money, both for myself and for other people as an advisor or an investor, and really I'm a doer. I'm an entrepreneur like you, and that's why I do this, because I think entrepreneurs are the most interesting people in the world. We're literally, actually, I'm literally wearing a t-shirt, I think. Yeah, look at that. See? Entrepreneurs. About this, and we're trying to help each other out and make this world a better place, because entrepreneurs are the ones that get things done, right? Most people sit on their hands and bitch about stuff, and entrepreneurs have ideas, and some of us may be a little crazy, right? Or we have ideas, right? But once you focus and you bear down and you actually get the work done, it turns out that we're the ones that move society forward. Where would the world be without entrepreneurs, right? Think about it. We don't get enough credit, frankly. So that's why I do this show and write my books and all the things that the Startup Council does. Hey, if you haven't already, go to startupcouncil.org. That's our primary website these days. I've built many websites over the years, as some of you know, you've been following me for a long time. But we do all kinds of different stuff. And let me see. So Startup Council. Here it is. So startupcouncil.org, we have a whole bunch of things there that can help you. And these are directories of investors, directories where you can post your startup to attract investors. We have a calendar of virtual events only for startup founders from all over the world. So if you don't happen to live in New York City or Palo Alto, you can find resources to help you accelerate your startup and raise money, which I know is on a lot of your minds. And all kinds of other things there that we do. We have meetup groups in 50 cities around the world, about 50,000 members. So if you're not part of one of those, go look and see if your city is where we have a meetup. They're both in the United States and all over the world. And if we don't have one for your city, well, then tell me, maybe we can start one. Or if we do have one for your city, that you can post your events there too. I'm just trying to help everybody here. So if you're, say you're in Paris or Berlin or Manila or Sydney or Philadelphia or Vancouver or Los Angeles or Miami, we have meetups in all those cities. So if you're doing startup events in those towns, send them in to us and we'll promote them. We're just trying to help everybody. I was in graduate school at Stanford in the 90s, back when Palo Alto was a sleepy little college town. And wow, what happened, right? I think you know what happened. The internet came along and blew us all up. So I've been doing this a while, but I've seen that movie where a little town and some regular-ish folks get together and build things, and amazing what can happen, right? So that's what we're trying to do, spin up that flywheel of innovation and investment and deal flow and successful exits that then create more founders and more investors who then have innovative ideas and more investments, and you get the idea, right? It's a cycle. So I saw that happen in the Bay Area. I saw it happen again in Los Angeles, in New York City. I've lived and worked at all those places. And these days I'm trying to help it happen in your town. So if that's useful to you, you're in the right place. Okay, so you want to know more about me, look at the books, go to Wikipedia. There's a page about me at Wikipedia or scottfox.com, et cetera, et cetera. I do a lot of speaking if you're looking for a speaker. I really enjoy helping other people, so if that's useful, give me a ring, okay? So let's move on here. Now we get the backstage is full. Today we're going to focus on pitches, all right? So a bunch of you sent in investment pitches, and we're going to try to do 2-minute pitches and then give feedback. And it's not just me. The point of this program is that we all help each other. And I would like you guys to participate as well. So I'm going to turn on the chat room here in a second. And then everybody, if you're on YouTube or Facebook or LinkedIn or Blog Talk Radio, any place that you're listening to this now or later, these are archived, by the way, then please do contribute with your critiques and feedback as well. So a couple quick disclaimers. I got to say these things. Okay, so this is being recorded, so don't say anything stupid or type anything stupid. This is not qualified legal or financial advice. I have backgrounds in both of those fields, but this is just random shit from a guy you met on the internet. Okay, so don't take any of this seriously. Seriously, it's for entertainment only, and I'm just trying to help. Okay, so your mileage may vary, etc. If you haven't liked and subscribed, of course, please do that. That's what everybody has to do these days. We're begging for likes and subscribes and views and comments and all that stuff. And I know when you are busy, it's hard to think about it, but even the little thumbs ups on LinkedIn or a quick comment, that's what drives those algorithms. So if you're finding what we're doing here valuable, please just talk back. Doesn't even have to be positive, frankly. Just say something, click something. That makes a difference to the message, right? You're getting the message out spread wider. Okay, if you're watching this replay later, especially, and you still have questions, come over to LinkedIn. We have the LinkedIn pages, of course, so look for Startup Council, or for me personally, I'm Scott Fox. And easily findable, so come and say hello, and we'll try to keep up. Okay, so that's kind of the preamble. Okay, so now today, we're going to do a little something. Oh, you can invite your friends while we're talking. You can invite your friends. We've got only room for 10 people backstage, and it's full already. I can see people pounding, knocking on the door. But what we're really doing is pitches today, and I got to give priority to the people who emailed in first, right? So there are a bunch of people who followed all the instructions and sent in their pitches. So we're going to give them a chance to pitch first, okay? So that is going to mean I'm going to have to bump some of you out of the backstage. I'm sorry. This is how it works, right? So I don't know who else backstage, but I can see, well, I do know, but I'm not sure all of you pitched. I'm going to have to cross-reference and maybe ask you to leave so someone who didn't RSVP can come in. Okay, so next time, people, I know the next question is going to be, when I turn on the chat room, everybody say, how do I get backstage? So here's how you get backstage. You go and you register. This is free, right? You're watching it on YouTube or LinkedIn or Facebook, and that's awesome. But if you want to participate and come on camera, then you have to RSVP and send in, fill out a quick little form and tell me what you want to talk about so we can let you backstage, okay? So apologies to those of you who figured that out but didn't send a question because I'm going to have to bump you, okay? And we're going to let in people who did RSVP. And that's going to be a little messy. This is the first time I've really tried doing this in real time. We'll do our best, okay? Everybody's here for the same reasons. Hopefully we can all get along. So if you get bumped out of the back room, just go over to YouTube, youtube.com/ScottFox. Or go to LinkedIn. We're live on LinkedIn Live. You can find us there. Or Facebook, facebook.com/millionaire, which is the title of my that book in the middle of it. So it's definitely available. You don't have to be backstage to participate. And if you're backstage, check. If you're backstage chatting, that's not going to be shown publicly. People having trouble in the back hearing me? Anybody else? I can see Andrey, are you having trouble? Is anybody else backstage? You having trouble? I get such a good control. Hold on, let me shut up. Let me just check the audio. No, it looks like it's okay. Oh, you know what might help? How about I put the microphone up here? There. Is that better? Can you hear me better? Oh, yeah. Duh. Okay, that's really high tech. The microphone was down there, and I'm standing. Okay. Anyway, sorry guys. Well, that was amazing. You missed all the best part, but I'm not going to do it again. We'll just have to roll with it. Okay, so now you can hear me. That's way better. All right, always something, right? Okay, so Malini, thank you for volunteering for being bumped. So let me, okay, I'm going to turn on the chat room here and let people invite you all in. And if you want to participate in the chat room, all you have to do is, it's listed on YouTube and LinkedIn. I don't think the Facebook chat integration works very well, but those chat messages will start showing up rapidly here. And I will respond to those as best I can. But like I said, today's mostly about pitches. And if this doesn't work, then we'll go back to the regular Q&A format next time. We're going to try to do pitches because that's what people ask me about the most. Okay, Concha is the first to show up there. I can see the other posts are going to come in after him. So when I was talking earlier, those look like they got skipped. But let's go back. I will just review here. Okay, so. Yes, Ryan Boo. Yes, I will let you in a second because you emailed in. Great. Quick Millionaires is the best, says Matteo Piovano. Thank you, Matteo. Where are you from? That sounds like you might be Italian. I don't know. But yes, you read one of my books. Awesome. Zach, hey, Zach. Nice to meet you or see you. I know you. AI transportation means it's full. A number of spots are open. You have to wait till someone leaves, then you can join. Exactly. Roman Racing. Thank you. That's right. Hi, LinkedIn user. Do I have calls with people to listen to their ideas? I do. This show is usually to do that. But today we're just doing pitches. If you want to do a private call with me, we can do that. The only way I can do that, though, is I have to charge for my time because otherwise I get overwhelmed. Let me put that on the page there. Do that link while we're talking. Not that one, not that one. There we go. Here's a page. This has got all different ways. If you want to work with me directly, I do private coaching calls. We can review your deck, can do a video for you. Lots of different stuff. Happy to help. There's only so many hours in my day, though, so those aren't free like this. Okay, let me get back to the chat room. Answering the questions. Okay, yes. Okay, Ian, yes, if we have time later, we can do a question from you. And also, tell me where you're from, guys. That's very interesting. Dallas, Texas there, Karen says. Awesome, Karen. Hello, Andrey. Nice to see you. Looking for you. He's looking, he put his LinkedIn in there. That's a good idea. You can definitely do that. I think I have mine here. Hold on, I'll post my LinkedIn there too. And I'm happy to say hello. It helps definitely. I get tons of LinkedIn, so if I don't get back to you immediately, don't take it personally. It helps if you say hi and tell me why you're connecting, because I get a lot of spammers. Siva Kumar from Dallas. Taylor just raised $1 million in the chat. Wow, okay, I guess we're done for today. Good job, Taylor. Andrey is in Miami. Aloha from Hawaii, Brad. Yes, okay. There's my Lester. Hi, Lester. Nice to see you. Martin from Maui. Okay, Taylor from LA. Marina from the Space. I think you've been here before, right, Marina? Nice to see you again. And some of the chat messages aren't going through. Okay, so if you're not seeing that, my messages, it's linkedin.com/ Scott Fox author. There's some other Scott Fox out there with my handle, but Scott Fox author. All right, so let's get to what we can here. Let's go do a little admin on the back end, and let's see. Okay, so if you want to come on, you got to turn on your camera as well. So there's Ryan got in, Ian, Ryan. Well, let's put you guys on. Let's see here. I don't know if we can all fit with the chat. Hold on, I'm going to turn the chat off again for a second. Okay, and let's see. Let's say hello to our friends. I'm going to have you guys come on. And there's Ryan and Laszlo. And let's see. Laszlo, you've got 2 cameras. Can you leave one of those, it looks like, please? There's got room for other people. Ashley and VJ and Andrey. Okay, cool. All right, and let's put me over there. Okay, well, there's only 4 of you. Where'd Ryan go? Oh, there's only, hold on. Some more people in here. There we go. All right. All right, let's start here. Let's see who's got what's going on. And you need to unmute. And I'm just going to go to each of you real quick, and let's just hear if what you want to pitch, which pitch is yours, and if you RSVP'd. And otherwise, we're going to have to ask you to leave. So first of all, can we take, hold on, this, right, not that one, this one. Okay, cool. Okay, can everybody smile for a second? Just say hi. Hi.
Hi.
Excellent. We need those, we need those shots for social media, right? So that's what makes this real. Doesn't really happen unless we can post about it. So thank you all for being here. Let's see. This is a nice looking. Let's see. Let's do this one too. Look at this. High tech. One more time. Yay! Hello. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Okay. Enough of that BS. Okay. So let's start here at the top. Looks like Ryan. So Ryan Bua. We've got 2 Ryans. Now, Ryan, you emailed in, right?
I did.
Hello?
Yes.
Ryan?
Yes, I did. Can you hear me?
I can't hear you.
No?
You guys hear him? You can. Oh, man. What's going on today? Okay. All right. There we go. But that'll do it. All right.
Testing.
Yes. Okay, Ryan.
All right.
There's some music. Okay. That sounds better. Okay, Ryan, go ahead. So you have a startup, yes?
Yes. Coach
Okay.
IQ.
Okay, and you're in San Diego. Okay, so you're good to go. Coach IQ. Okay, so you are on the list. Okay, thank you. Just hang on. We'll get back to you. Okay, up next, I've got Ian. Ian, did you have a pitch as well?
It's more like a question. Hey.
Okay, we're just doing pitches today, but let's see.
Okay.
I see your question. If we get to that, we will try to do that. I know it's late for you, so thanks for sticking around. But next time, or you, like I said, you can find me in other places too. We'll get back to you if we can. Okay, Ryan. Let's see, Laszlo. Laszlo here? There's Laszlo. Yes, hey Laszlo. You've got a pitch as well, right?
Yes, I have a pitch.
Okay, cool. So you are on the list.
Hear me?
Yes, yeah, you're good. We'll get back to you. Thank you for being here. All right, and then sorry guys, this is a little complicated. So I'm missing. Let's see, who's this? Ryan McCauley. Did you send in a pitch, Brian?
Yeah, I sent it about 30 minutes ago.
Oh, dude, come on, give me a break.
Sorry about that.
Okay. Okay. Oh, yeah, I do have it. Okay, cool. All right, we'll get to you as well. Yeah, it helps a lot if you send them in the day before for obvious reasons. Okay, next, hang on. We'll get back to you, Ryan. Okay, and then let's see what else we got here. Let's try that. There we go. Okay, and then who do we have here? This is Ashley. Hi, Ashley.
Hi.
Nice to meet you. Did you send in a pitch?
One recruiter, yes, I did.
Okay.
From Baltimore.
I don't have that one. What's it about? What's it called?
It's called One Recruiter. It's a platform, a SaaS platform.
Okay.
That connects independent recruiters.
When did you send it?
I sent it in earlier today.
Earlier today.
So it wasn't the day before thing, but I did send it in.
Okay, well, I'll try to get to you. You'll probably have to be last. Sorry.
Okay, no, that's perfectly fine. Thank you.
Okay, cool. Are you in this time zone at least, so we won't keep you up all night?
I think I am. Where are you located?
In California, Southern California.
No, I'm not. 3 p.m., so not that bad. Baltimore, East Coast. So.
Okay, great. Hang in there. And Vijay and Andrey. So Vijay.
So I have BoldMantra. So Vijay Lakshmi Anbergen.
Okay, BoldMantra. Got you. Okay. Yes. Okay. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
Okay. And Andrey. Hey, Andrey. Did you send in a picture? I don't see that, Andrey.
Yes, I did yesterday.
Okay. Well, I know you, so I know you'll have a good pitch. All right. So we'll put you in line too. Okay. Cool. All right. Thank you for all the admin time, guys. So, all right. So that's part of why this happens is because then all these people send in and then they don't show up, or they're probably here. Actually, let me remind that. So if you are one of these people, Teresa, Alireza, Ned, or Malini, you can get in here, go to founderofficehours.com, founderofficehours.com, and get backstage, and that will allow you to join us, and we can get to your pitch in a few minutes, okay? So that's the plan. There, I'll put that on the screen. So that's for those of you, not for everybody. Please allow the spots for pitching. And if this doesn't work, we'll do it differently next time, okay? But I think we've got enough pitches here to make this interesting. And hopefully this will be helpful for the rest of you too. The idea, of course, is that you get better, it's role modeling, right? And this is not an easy thing to do. To pitch in front of a live audience, especially with people you don't know, is not a comfortable thing. But like most things, the more you do it, the better you get at it. So just trying to make this easy and fun for as many people as possible. So, okay. So let's go. I guess we might as well get started. Andrey's done this before. So Vijay, you're probably ready, but I'll pick on Andrey because I know he's done it before, and he'll give the role model for the rest of you, okay? And the rest of you guys backstage, hang in there, and we'll do this here with our friend Andrey. And let's see, somebody else just joined backstage. What was somebody? Safet. Hey, Safet. Nice to meet you. I don't think you submitted a pitch, though, so I'm going to need you to ask you to go out to YouTube or LinkedIn. You're in the wrong place. Okay, go to youtube.com/ScottFox or LinkedIn Live. The backstage today, we're only doing pictures, okay? I'm sorry about that. So sorry. Hopefully you understood that. And happy to help you, but we need that space back there. Okay. All right, so here's how we do the pitches, guys. So let me turn the chat room back on because this is kind of the fun part in many ways. We have you guys. I don't have all the answers. I'm a good talker, as you can see, but my expertise is not infinite, right? As my wife will tell you for sure. And the idea is really to crowdsource some expertise that will help all of our pitchers do their pitches better. And this is an artificial environment. Full disclosure, this is a 2-minute pitch. There's no such thing as a 2-minute pitch in the real world, right? The real world is casual conversations or maybe a formal pitch that might be 8, 10, or even 20 minutes, right? So 2 minutes is artificial. I totally admit that, but it's the best way to get the vibe going and get people comfortable, and then we can give feedback. And for those of you in the audience, what we'd really like your help for, and Andrey will agree with this, I think, is what could he do better? That's why we're here, right? What can they do better? And it isn't so much questioning the business, because that's a longer discussion. It's hard to really get into the strategy. You know, we're just kind of going to presume that our pitchers, they've got a really good idea and they're going to make it happen. What we want to ask them is, or tell them, share our feedback is, what did they miss? Right? We didn't hear enough about this, or you talk too fast, or like more like, almost like style as much as content, because the business itself is a longer discussion. And they're not going to get into a situation where they're doing a full pitch unless there's some merit there, right? They'll be screened somehow. So this is the get acquainted, make a first impression pitch, right? This is how you go from the meet the person at the bar and then get to the first date. This is that little, you know, kind of more casual, quick introduction. So, all right. So hopefully that makes sense. And everybody, a quick sound check. Is anybody on LinkedIn or YouTube or Facebook? Can you just type in the chat? Because sorry, I messed up, as I often do. I messed up the sound at the beginning there. So hopefully everybody's with us. Okay. All right. So just go ahead and say hello there. On the screen now, we've only got one message from Ankit, who goes by Chicken Stock, apparently. So we can add some more chat there. There we go. Okay. Gayatri, thank you on YouTube. And Stephen, that's nice. Stephen, where are you? Oh, you're YouTube as well. Hello, YouTube. Okay, YouTube looks like it's working. Anybody on LinkedIn? There's LinkedIn. Hey, Josh, nice to see you. Okay, cool. We're working. All right. Okay, so sorry, Andrey, that was a long preamble. You ready?
You forgot to say no pressure.
Right. That's right. No pressure.
Okay, now it's perfect. Yeah. Okay. Hi. Are you going to put me like full screen or?
Yeah, no, just go ahead like that. That's the best way to fit, because I want to allow the chat.
Okay. Oh, okay, cool. I was waiting for that moment. Hi, I'm Andrey from Craftus, and I have a technology that can increase revenue of bars and restaurants by 30% or more. And remember how you come to a restaurant and you look at the menu, right? And you read something like chicken con pollo, and you're trying to imagine what it is, what does it look like, what does it taste like? And that's why restaurants actually started adding pictures to the menus, because according to one research, 82% of people are buying solely based on the picture of the food. And we eat with our eyes, basically. And now imagine that instead of this tiny, grainy, low-quality picture, you can get something like this, which is a three-dimensional, high-quality representation of what you're going to eat. And you can look from every possible angle, and you can almost taste it in your mouth, how it's going to taste this, whatever you're going to order. And the best part is that this technology costs only pennies. It doesn't require any expensive equipment like VR headsets or special projectors. You don't even need to print your menu in color. So it's even cheaper than regular menu, and it works online and offline. And I have demonstrated this technology to 25 totally random people from different socioeconomic groups. And 100% of them said, wow. And they also said, yes, I want it and I need it right now. And I did a demo to a restaurant owner, and I immediately got our first pilot. They wanted to use this technology with the people. So I'm looking to raise $300,000 from an angel investor who is willing to actually participate in this business, who has connections in the restaurant and bar business, to begin our domination in this $2.5 trillion global food services market. Thank you very much.
Wow, I thought that was very good. Very good. I, of course, have comments. That's my job. But so everybody, now here's your chance to pile on, and pick on Andrey in a nice way, right? What could he do differently or better? So that's what we're trying to do here, is fill in the gaps and help him expand on that. So that was nicely done. It was on time. Obviously, you've practiced that. My feedback would be, it was nice that you weren't reading, because a lot of people just read. I get the sense some of you who emailed in, you emailed me your whole pitch like you're expecting that you're just going to read this to us. That's not going to work. Nobody's going to stand still for that. And you didn't. So that's good. I really like the concept. You've been here a bunch of times, and I'm not sure I knew what you were actually working on. That's very interesting. I guess my big complaint would be your video quality is terrible. I could hardly see whatever it was you were demonstrating. So you waved something around and it looked cool, but other people see, yeah, at least maybe it's me, but people in the chat room.
That's why I was asking if you're going to put me full screen, actually.
No, that won't help, because you're pixelated like crazy. It's not not a size question; it's a pixelation question. Like, so I don't know if other people are having trouble like I am, but you've got to triple down on your bandwidth if you're going to be doing video demos. I also saw a study, and this is for everybody, and I broke the rule right at the beginning of the show. The better your sound is, the smarter people think you are. And your sound was fine, but I'm picking on myself here because I hadn't brought the microphone up where you could hear me. So sound and video, especially if you're going to do video pitches, that's the whole game. So yeah, pixelated here too. You should give free food samples in the chat. Looks okay. It's okay. So some people think it's good. Yeah, anyway, so that's something to check on. Okay, more substantively. So I would say you had some statistics. 82% of people think this is a good idea. That helps. Investors eat numbers, right? So the more numbers you throw in, the sooner the better. And you were doing fine on this. Eating with your eyes. I thought that was a catchy, right? It makes sense. You had a clear ask at the end, 300K from angel investors. And the main thing, this is fabulous. You've done this maybe better than anybody that I've had on the show as long as I can remember, is he demonstrated traction without actually having any revenue. So I think maybe he's been listening to me because he said he went out and he actually talked to 25 customers and got really good response. So that's not the same as, he's got 25 million in revenue, obviously, but for an unfunded early stage startup, that's what you have to do. The fact that you believe in this and your mom believes in it and gave you 50 grand doesn't convince an investor. You have to go out and talk to customers and demonstrate something like traction. So on this show a lot, we talk about what is traction. Well, traction usually means money. It means sales, revenue, right? But in this case, he's got kind of pseudo traction, proto traction, beta traction, because he actually engaged with customers and got reactions. And there's lots of ways you can do this. You can watch old episodes of this Office Hours and see many other ways that we've talked about doing this. But that was fantastic, Andrey. So if you improve the bandwidth so that we could really see what you're talking about, I think everybody can relate to restaurant, pictures and stuff. That sounds really interesting and positive. So I thought that was great. So seriously, nice job. So let's see what
Thank you.
Let's see what people in the chat say. Anything? Let's see where's my chat. Okay. So what? Anybody? Let's see. Okay. Hello. Right. Hello. Okay. All right. Is everybody saying hello? Thank you. Okay. Steven says, my question is where the 30% increased revenue comes from exactly. I'm not sure if that needs to be explained, but that's what I was thinking about. That's a great point. If you replay the video on YouTube, you'll be able to watch the chat go by because you were talking and I was listening, right? So neither of us was watching very well, and this is true for everybody. Go back and watch the replay, and you'll get the detail from the chat better. Yeah. The video quality. A lot of recommendations on the video quality. Go maybe talk a little slower. Sure. Looks poor on LinkedIn. Very pixelated. Yep. Okay. And I gather it might be augmented reality, and maybe I missed it, but I didn't hear you talk about that much. So that's a thing, right? That's a buzzword you should use. I think that's a good idea. Explained your idea so well. What would the 300K be for? Talk about the consumer experience more directly. Yeah, and then I QR codes. That was interesting. So you have to differentiate from QR codes. And then, I think the other thing was what they call unit economics. And this goes back to, it's kind of in between the 25 customers and then the 300K, like on a per unit basis, per customer, like and maybe you don't know yet, but even some reference to actually how the business model works would be great. Like we expect we're going to change, we're going to charge whatever, $1,000 a month for a typical restaurant. Typical restaurant owner owns 3 restaurants, and then this means, and we have a profit margin of this. So we're hoping something, just some, and it can be totally made up, but at least gives a sense that you have thought about this. And also to investors, give some reassurance that you've thought about this, right? This isn't just an idea, right? How this actually produces cash is the point of the pitch, right? So you didn't quite do much of that, but as a 2-minute, it was a really good teaser, and it made me want to ask those questions. So in some ways, that can almost be strategic, right? If you can be vague on certain things when you've only got a couple minutes. So
actually have a 1-hour presentation and full deck with answering all these questions, but like you said, it's 2 minutes, and the main point is to raise the interest.
That's right. That's right. And it's really going to be rare you're ever going to get a 1 hour presentation. I've never met an investor that'll sit still for an hour, but if they're really going to do due diligence with you, they'll probably talk through it personally. Oh, I see. And you're in a hotel. That makes sense. Yeah, that's hard to rely on the bandwidth. Okay. So, yeah, great. So you might want to go out. I'm looking in the backstage chat. You might want to go out and engage in the front of house chat as well. So you could leave here and go over to YouTube and chat with some of the folks. And I'm sure Andrey would be happy to connect with anybody that looks like they'd be interested in investing or helping him. They might have some expertise or some connections, maybe some restaurant owners in the audience. And nice work. Really nice work. Great to see you. Yeah, right on. Okay, so you set the bar pretty high there. But I'm going to turn you off here. Okay, so go over to YouTube or LinkedIn, and happy to reconnect there. See you next time. All right, so that was impressive. So don't be intimidated. This is all friendly and helpful, or hopefully helpful. And let's bring up our next contestant. I think that's VJ was the one is next in my line anyway. So hold on, Andrey, I'm going to remove you. Okay, sorry. All right, there goes him, and here comes our friend VJ. Hey, VJ.
Hi.
So you're from Milpitas. That's East Bay, right? Yeah.
That's right, Santa Clara.
Yeah. Okay.
California.
Nice to meet you. All right. So VJ is going to talk about Bold Mantra, and she's got about 2 minutes. And any questions? You ready? Just go ahead, and we'll fill it in.
All right, I'm ready to go. Hi, everyone. This is Vijay, the founder and CEO of BoldMantra. So BoldMantra.AI is customized solutions for mothers who are in pre- and postpartum phase with fitness, mental health, and finance solution. It is customized for mothers, and because why is what is the reason for starting BoldMantra is because I'm a mother, and I face challenges while losing weight or in terms of finance and mental health. It is a life-changing experience for mothers, all including all. But in terms of mothers, there's a lot of support needed. I have lost around 40 pounds. I have cured a condition called diastasis recti. And also I have started my own company and doing all the freelance projects. And also trained myself in pre and postpartum, like how to come out of the mental health things that actually happens for mothers. So I did all of these things, and I started ask my friends and all fellow mothers ask me, how did you do it, and can you provide the solution? That is the reason why I started BoldMantra.ai. And it is also have like a cutting edge technology. Like I have integrated AI driven algorithms to customize the solutions like diet plans and workouts, and these are all live sessions that anybody can attend this globally from anywhere. That is the point. So mothers, we usually know they are the primary caretaker of babies, and so I wanted to help in this way. And as I mentioned, the market size every single year there are 144 million who give birth, and the market size is really, really huge. And I'm currently focused on US and Canada, and slowly expanding to other markets as well. And in terms of traction, I have spoken till now more than 100 mothers, and I have 15 beta users and 3 paid customers so far. And this is a subscription-based business model starting from $10. I have spent roughly around more than $10,000 to attain this physique and mental health and everything. And I got to a point that not everybody can afford it. So that's why I started at a very cheap subscription-based business model. And in terms of conclusion, so Bold Mantra is looking for a seed stage investment of around $1 million to integrate new softwares and also expand both domestic and globally in the international market. Thank you so much.
Wow, VJ, very nice. Good job. So how many times have you pitched before?
Multiple times. I have been a founder with another startup, and I think 50 times maybe.
Okay, there you go. I can tell. Yeah. So everybody else, that's how it's done, right? You got to practice. It's not, doing it in your head is not the same thing as doing it in front of real people, even if we're virtual people. So yeah, really nice job. Okay, so everybody in the chat room, go ahead and chime in. What did you think? What did she miss? What could she done more of, less of, that kind of thing? That's really the idea, is to help it be comfortable and constructive feedback, of course. My comments would be, I thought it was very good. I have very little to pick on. But I guess the main one would be, I didn't get a clear understanding of what is it. You kind of skipped over, like you're so close to it, but is it an app? I honestly don't, you don't need to answer. We don't have time, but like you should be clear. It's an app. Is it online? I wasn't even sure it was software until about halfway through the pitch. I think it's software. I'm still not sure because the way you talked about it, it could be in-person coaching, right? Or you could be like at a yoga studio having classes, right? And I don't think that's what you're doing, right? It's more software based.
Software.
Yeah, it's online, right? So you got to say that because I didn't know. And it wasn't until you got like halfway through also that you talked about your business model, right? So I wasn't sure, like you were clear about the target market. That was good. And you had some numbers. I always have a question about that kind of target market, just to give you the kind of pushback you'll get from investors if you haven't already, is that you want to be clear about, is it pregnant mothers, postpartum, and how long into their life cycle? Because the question is, how long are they a customer, right? So if it's only when they're pregnant, then obviously 9 months and you're done, right? If it's longer, then it's longer, right? Or so anyway, so there, because I've been involved in businesses like say like a wedding registry, right? People come in and they get involved in a wedding registry really intensely, but only for about 90 days and then they're gone, right? So you want to think about the lifespan of that customer, and you may have, sorry, I'm just kind of off the top of my head here. And it took you a while to get into the business model. So as an investor, I want to hear sooner, and this is me. So I hear a lot of pitches, right? So if you're talking to your uncle who's got some money, then he probably wants to hear the story more. But for me, I want to hear the numbers sooner. So the $10 a month, it finally came out that it's a subscription. It was like 3/4 in before I knew that it was a subscription. And then it was $10. But you didn't say $10 a month, $10 a day, $10 a year. Like you got to be specific, right? And then I would like to hear more about the business model. Same thing with Andrey. Like how often do they pay? How much do they pay? What kind of margin do you expect? Again, that's unit economic. Like how does the money engine work? The spreadsheet. What are the whatever the 6 factors? This is the income, and then these are the costs, and then we end up with this much, right? That kind of stuff would be useful. Again, you might be saving that for the second conversation, but that's what I'm going to ask you right as soon as I talk to you. Another amazing traction example. She's talked to 100 mothers. She beat you 100 by 4 times, right? You only talked to 25. Good job. If I understood that correctly anyway. So 100 people, that's fantastic. And you've got 3 paid users. So you have demonstrated that's actual traction, and that's fabulous. So I would caution you that $1 million, at least outside of the Bay Area, is a very hard number to raise because it's too big for angels and it's too small for a venture capital firm. So you might want to think more about 2 or 3 or 400, because then angels can do that, and then a smaller raise at a smaller valuation, and then you can raise $1.5 million or 3 at a bigger valuation, that kind of thing. Because $1 million's right in the no man's land, unless you've got rich family, of course, and that can work for anything. Okay, so is that helpful?
Yes, for sure. Thank you so much for your insights, and we'll look into the comments as well. Thanks for the opportunity.
All right, great. Well, let's look at the comments together real quick in case there's anything that we can solve, like any quick questions while you've got the airtime. Oh, and if you have the URL or something, to go ahead and tell people where to find you. Yeah.
Sure. It's www.BoldMantra.AI, BoldMantra. So I can paste it in the chat as well.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, I'm looking at the chat. It's smart mom, somebody said. Okay.
So it's a website that currently I am having. I just saw a question, and I'm actually developing the app. It's the development of app in progress. Currently, it's happening via website and Zoom meetings and Google Meet. The sessions.
Excellent. Oh, and you mentioned AI as well. I was trying to do 2 things at once, so I didn't quite catch it. But whenever you say AI, you need to explain it a little more, because investors these days are very suspicious of it. Everybody claims to have AI, right? And as you probably know, there's lots of degrees of AI, right? Are you a fundamental model, or are you an app on top of something, or are you machine learning that is not really AI but kind of pattern recognition? So there's degrees of that. So it's a good thing to say, but I would add another sentence. What I mean by AI is just so we can tell if it's for real or not, right? And again, that would lead to longer discussion. But okay.
Makes sense. Thank you.
All right. Nice to meet you. Hope to see you again. That was Vijay from Milpitas. All right. Milpitas is a place in Northern California, for those of you who've never heard of Milpitas. Okay. So that was good. This is going pretty well. I hope the rest of you are enjoying this. This is the first time we've done focusing on pitches. We usually do pitches last, and then we always run out of time. So, okay. I think up is Ryan McCauley. Looks like he's next on my Here we go. Hey, Ryan.
Hello.
Where are you today?
I'm in Big Bear right now, but I go to school up in Santa Clara.
Okay, nice. Big Bear, California, that is, for the rest of you. We've got people here from all over the world. So is there snow today?
It's a pretty sunny day today.
Okay, all right. Sounds like fun. It's a ski resort for those of you who don't know. Okay, so Ryan is going to talk about BIOME, it looks like. So you've got the vibe. Any questions, or you just want to hit it?
Let's go right into it.
Okay, here we go. Here comes
All
Ryan.
right. Hi, everyone. My name is Ryan McCauley. I'm the co-founder and CEO of BIOME. I think a common issue that everyone runs into is, and if you're a parent, it's even more of an issue, is what are we going to have for dinner tonight? If you're coming home from a long day of work, the hassle that surrounds this question can force you to opt into getting takeout or eating out. And that will cause you to spend more money. And I think with BIOME, we have a solution to that problem. So BIOME is a food content video sharing platform in which users are presented with a curated feed of short form food content that they can interact with in a number of different ways. They can share it to their friends and family. They can save a recipe to different folders in their cookbook. And they can also buy all the necessary ingredients in a smart checkout feature. Something that I think is really interesting about this concept is, we live in this day and age where advertising is constantly thrusted into your face. And because of that, people's detectors for these ads are on high alert constantly. But the thing about food content is it's already a very popular subgenre of short form content. And because we have that grocery integration, every single video is an advertisement in disguise because it can generate a sale. So I think with BIOME, there's a very interesting proposition. The online grocery market currently is evaluated at 700 billion. And by the year 2028, it's going to be at 1.2 trillion. So I think being able to find our place in that market will be really big. And with BIOME, we can help people create happier and healthier lives. Thank you.
Okay, nice job. So that's food content sharing. That's definitely a big category. I think you're onto something there. Again, if you have comments or suggestions for Ryan, please post them in the chat on YouTube or LinkedIn or Facebook. And I'm sure he'll go back and look at the video and see what clever ideas you guys had. Because again, I don't have all the ideas. I'm just the facilitator, as it were. Okay, so my feedback, let's see. My feedback would be, sounds very interesting. There's definitely a market there. I think there's a lot of people doing similar things, and I may be wrong, but I can think of a couple people I even know, much less out in the world, right? And I haven't even looked. So I would be real careful, just as your friend, like make sure that somebody isn't already doing this or something really close, right? And if they are, maybe you could partner with them or something like that. What I didn't catch is why now? Like, we probably don't have time to get into it, but are you a chef? Are you a photographer? Like, what's your angle on it? You're just a really hungry person, like why are you the guy to do food content, and why now? That's a start to it, because it's one of those things, like everybody's into food, but you must be an expert of some sort to have this as a passion. Because what what investors want to see is that you have a passion for this, that you're going to, take this ball and run down the field and make a touchdown with it. So, what drives you to be solving this problem? And you had some numbers about the size of the market. So the next thing I would do is focus more on the business. So it sounds like you're pretty early stage, and this is totally cool. I get it. But it's typical at this stage to do what you did, which is talk 90% or 95% about the product and about 5% about the business. And investors are kind of the other way around, right? We want to know how it makes money. If you have a good idea and it's making money, we don't care what the idea is. We just want to make money, right? So you got to kind of, your emphasis, like change your emphasis a little and add more. And you're probably not there yet, so that's fine, right? But you don't do this kind of thing like you or like VJ's a mom. She's solving a problem because she's a mom. You're solving this for a reason, so you're close to it. That's what you're passionate about. but the investors need a little more, like how many people, how much, how often, how big is the market, all that kind of stuff. And the only thing I heard about the money, and again, I'm doing a couple things at once, so I apologize if I missed it. You can check me on the replay. I heard something about a smart checkout feature. And to me, checkout means money, and it was smart, which means that there's something else going on, software, AI, something like that. To me is the piece I suddenly went ding, because like another photo sharing app, it's going to be really hard to compete against Instagram and all the other, photo people in the world that do this for years, right? So what's unique about you, especially if it relates to money, is what I'm driving at. So if you can, just practice a bit more, but you're on the right track, right? You've got the right idea. It's not easy to do, so good job, and just keep at it, right? And if when you watch, you'll, I do this too. You watch the video later, like, oh man, I said a lot, but that comes with practice, and you just got to practice. And like you heard Vijay say, she did it 50 times or 100 times, right? I mean, it's hard. So good job. All right. So was that helpful? I mean,
yeah, thank you so much, Scott. It's actually my first time pitching in front of like a live audience. So
excellent.
I really appreciate the feedback.
Yeah. Well, it was great for the first time. This shit ain't easy. All right. So what did the chat room say? Anybody screaming mad or screaming excited? How does it compare with food subscription plans? How would a customer pay? Yeah. So those are sort of money questions again. That doesn't surprise me. Let's see. There's some software developers offering to help. Yeah, get more meetings, get more feedback. Yeah, that's a nice comment. Smile more. That's a good one. Yes, that always helps. Yeah. Okay. Well, good. So good job for the first time. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you showing up. I'd be happy to do it with you again. And we have a lot of people come and do this repeatedly, and it turns out practice does help. So.
All right. Thank you. Thank you to you, Scott, and thank you to everyone in the chat for the feedback. Thank you.
Cool. Nice to meet you. All right, so here we go. We're making progress here. So up next, I think, was who we got backstage. So Ian had a question, so we can do that later. Laszlo and Ashley. Ryan, we did Ryan Bua. We'll do Ryan Bua next. Let's see. Alireza, did you send in? You were one of the guys, I think, that sent in a question, didn't you? Lost track of my. Yeah. Ali, raise your hand. Is that you? Ali Baluchi? Balurchi? Is that you? Okay. So we'll bring you on too. You'll be in the line here. Thank you. So Ryan, we handled. Okay, so let's do Laszlo and then Ryan Bua. So Laszlo, you ready, Laszlo? Here comes Mr. Laszlo. Hi, Laszlo. Nice to see you again.
Can you hear me good?
Yeah. Oh, it's kind of scratchy.
Let's see.
Maybe
can
you
hear
need
me?
to sit still. Yeah.
So. You can hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so you want me to start?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Laszlo. I am the founder and visionary behind DAPS, 3D printed entertainment. We make the sound. I've been at the startup game a long time. Throughout the years, I've learned a lot about myself, but more importantly, everyone's learned a lot about me. The purpose of our startup is to revitalize the 3D printing industry. I will lead the charge, and with me, I'll bring in a little bit of controversy, some foresight, and fun. Okay, the purpose of our startup is to create something new, 3D printed entertainment. One of the biggest forms, we're going to create 3D entertainment, okay? One of the biggest forms of entertainment today are video games. Those are big, that's bigger than sports and movies combined. And the most popular type of video games are shooting games with guns. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a bunch of things for people to shoot at. We're video games, and we're going to compete with video gaming industry directly. That's how we're going to create the beginning of 3D printed entertainment. Okay. Investment-wise, we're looking for $10 million so that we could revitalize the 3D printing industry. A $1 billion attainable market within the video gaming industry, that's 100. Exit-wise, our exit strategy is IPO with a large share going towards the veterans and healthcare. Because we're a sound company. Within time, the healthcare industry want a large share of what we're doing to help the blind community. But that's part of our exit. I'll tell you more about that, but this is just a quick overview. My name is Laszlo. The name of the company is Printed Entertainment. We make the sound. So that's it.
Okay, thanks, Laszlo. Nice to see you. That was you were under time too. Good job. Okay, so I'm a little confused. You're a sound company, but you're doing 3D objects, and you want $10 million. Things.
Yeah.
Sorry, you don't have to explain
I know.
it. Yeah, you got to connect the dots a little better. I'm not sure how audio turns into objects that turn into things for people to shoot at that are going to take you public. So, yeah, I'm confused. Is a short version. I'll tell you, $10 million is not a number anybody's going to invest if you don't already have some kind of business running. That's too much to ask for from the start. I think I would dial back your grand plans. I'm going to mute you. There's a lot of background. There. Does that help? Maybe. Yeah. Okay. 10 million is too much to ask for off the bat. Because that would be like a Series B sort of round, and nobody, unless you're doing like nuclear power plants or maybe biotech or something big, you want to raise like 300 or 500 grand from friends and family and angels, and then show that you're doing something, and then raise 2 or 3 million, and then show that you're doing some more, and then raise 10 or 20 million. Right? That's generally the way it's done. I may not be getting the vision here because it sounds like you have a really big vision, but that's the way it's typically done. So unless you know somebody that writes $10 million checks, I think I would dial it back and try to do baby steps and to pull together a business that is maybe not yet self-sustaining, but at least is generating revenue that shows investors that they want to put more money in. Investors really are not looking to spend money to create things. We're looking to spend money to grow things that are already working. So you need to kind of, plant some seeds and get the first initial little shoots of the plant, and then we'll come in and water it. There's a whole bunch of metaphors at the same time. So I think you're being a little ambitious, but again, I may not have the whole thing. Yeah, that's kind of what I would say. Let's hope that's helpful. Let's see what the chat room says. Anybody else? Ian has a suggestion for a microphone. There you go. USB mini. Yeah, and a better. Yeah, the video and audio quality was weak. That's right. So yeah, I think you need better video and audio these days. That's a given. What's the business model? What does a customer pay? That's right. What are the typical price points? That would be helpful. And then of course there's go to market, which is something we haven't talked about much today. But the video game industry, absolutely great big target. No pun intended, because I guess you're making targets. But is a huge business, right? But how are you going to compete, or how are you going to get distribution for the products that you make? That's the next piece, right? So you got to kind of prove that you can make them and sell them at a profit. And then you're going to say, how do we sell a zillion of them? And that go-to-market strategy is the next challenge. So there's always a higher hurdle, of course. But okay, well, I hope that's helpful. Happy to see you again. And and please watch the video back later and see if folks have some other help for you. All right. Cool. Oh, there's a big comment for you right there. So thank you, Laszlo. We're going to move on to our next folks. Okay, I'm going to make room. Sorry, Laszlo, I'm going to take you out of backstage so other people can come in, but happy to see you over on YouTube or LinkedIn to follow up. Okay, so next up was Ryan Bowie or Bua. Hold on here. Yeah, some good comments there, it looks like. Let's move on to Ryan. Hi, Ryan.
Hello.
So thank you for waiting. Looks like you're from San Diego.
I am, yeah.
Excellent. So thank you. So Ryan's one of the good guys. He sent in the question beforehand to help us keep this on track. So you've got the vibe here. You got 2 minutes to share with us your vision.
Great. Yeah. Full disclosure, I will be reading a script, I know, but I'm testing a little story arc. So I want to stick to that. But hopefully my clear sound keeps my perceived intelligence.
There you go.
high.
Yes, I can hear you just fine. That's great.
Perfect. Hello, everybody. I'm Ryan. I'm the founder and CEO of Coach IQ. We are a B2B SaaS platform that is the complete operating system to run and grow a private sports coaching business. Before founding Coach IQ, I was a Division I football player at UC Davis. And before that, I was just a young athlete with a dream. I had a dream of playing D1 football, but I had no clue of the proper steps to get there. As a result of my ignorance, my family was taken advantage of by the current market leaders. All of them promised that they were the solution I needed to accomplish my dream. We purchased a $3,000 recruiting package on a 36-month payment plan, all for them to then tell me that I was graded as a D3 athlete and they would not, in fact, help me accomplish my dream. They made sure I signed on the dotted line before they told me that. We drove up and down the state of California, attending camps and combines, trying to get noticed by colleges. Had we known how the system works, we could have saved our money and efforts there as well. If only I had a guide to show me the proper path to accomplish my dream. My story is not unique. The athletic experience is broken. It's fragmented, confusing, expensive, and worst of all, the athletes that do make it to the next level, they show up completely unprepared. Coach IQ fixes this. Private sports coaches build deep, enduring bonds with the athletes that they work with, and Coach IQ empowers them to be the guide their athletes need them to be. You can think of our platform as Shopify for the athletics market. Today, we've just launched out of our beta with over 260 customers, over $30,000 in MRR, and we're processing over $300,000 in monthly transaction volume. We're raising $1.2 million to acquire our next 2,000 customers over the next 18 months. Through this coaching network, we have the opportunity to fix the experience for the athletes that work with our coaches and consolidate the over $20 billion per year that athletes spend into the Coach IQ ecosystem. Thanks.
Well, fantastic. That was very good. Yeah, and your reading was fine. At least you didn't sound like you were reading so much, right? You actually know the stuff. The problem with reading, this is for everybody. The problem with reading is that you're not paying attention and like you're trying to remember what to say, but Ryan obviously knows what he's saying. He's just using the reading as a refresher so that he comes across fluently and doesn't miss anything. That's a different kind of reading. So that was, I think, fine. Of course, it's always better when you don't read, but that was good. So yeah, that was great, man. That's very interesting. What an interesting business. So everybody in the chat room, of course, chime in, see what you think. Impressive traction. Fantastic. Good. I mean, congrats, man. Seriously, that's really cool. Sounds like it's funny sometimes, life gives you lemons, make lemonade, right? I mean, you spent $3,000 on a thing and you made 300 grand already. Like, okay, well, maybe that wasn't the worst thing in the world. It turns out, right?
Yeah.
You never know. Right. So, okay. So, my biggest question, and this is just me being ignorant, you're very close to this. You led with a private sports coaching business. Like, I don't know what that is. Like, I thought you meant personal trainers, right?
Right.
So you actually mean coaching. So I think you got to unpack that a little for somebody. I'm athletic, but I didn't do the kind of things you did. So you just one more sentence that just says, what I mean is, people that spend their time with young athletes and coach them into trying to become, get college scholarships and become a professional or something, just give me that one sentence, because then the context is easier, right? I'm not spending my time trying to understand. I'm actually listening. That would be my major, almost only suggestion. Your personal story is compelling. It answers to everybody else that's paying attention, right? It gives his why him, right? He's got a personal expertise with this. There's a social justice angle to it, which is kind of inspiring, right? And that's cool. Like, help people that are getting ripped off. That's very cool. The market stuff is impressive. I may have missed it, but did you say, have you raised money before? Was that in there?
I did not say, but we have raised a little bit. Yeah.
Okay, so I would say something about that. It sounds like maybe you don't want to say exactly, but if you're going out from 1.2 to start, people are that's like I've been telling other people, that's a lot, but it's not a lot if you've already done whatever. You've raised 200 or 500 already. You said this is our second round or our seed round, right? But just allude to it so that we know you're not just making the shit up, right? Like anybody can show up and say, I'm raising $5 million. But it's different if you've raised money in the past. That's all I'm saying. That's an important credibility point, I think.
You had an interesting point about the 1.2. It's kind of in this middle balance. So that's something I'm considering. yeah, it's something I'll take into consideration for sure. I am aware that like when you say you're raising 2 million with solid traction, then people take you more seriously. Like, oh, they are going after it big. So there's kind of this balance. You know, we kind of have we're first time founders, so we have that problem that investors, you know, what have you done? Well, I've built a profitable company right now.
That's catnip. I mean, that's great. Seriously, that's no joke. I mean, you'd be shocked how few of those we see. Everybody thinks you can just have an idea and people are going to throw money at you, and it doesn't work that way. It didn't even work that way in Web 1.0 when I was there. You know, it never works that way. This is work. So yeah, I'm very excited for you. That's very cool. What else did you say? Oh, the amount. Yeah. So 1.2, you're in kind of no man's land there. I'd try for, maybe 500 or 600. And then, like I said, and go for 3, right? And manage your evaluation appropriately so you don't get completely diluted.
Right.
But that'll be easier for you because there's no VC really no is a big word, right? But VCs generally these days, they have a lot of money, or they have a lot of money, or they have a little money. They don't have in between money, right? So,
I'm becoming acquainted with that as I go through this process.
Sure. I guess the other piece that was missing, and you may have said it because you've already got some traction, so that belies this a little bit, is the go to market. Like, how are you going to reach a whole bunch of people? Is there some way or and again, you're an insider, so you might have an angle on that that's interesting. And maybe that's what you share for the second conversation, right? You don't have to put it all out there in 2 minutes. But no, I thought that was very good. I'm impressed and happy to hear more. I'm especially given the revenues you've put up already. You could talk to Tech Coast Angels and people that I work with for sure. I mean, you're local ish anyway. Actually, let me put up this link for everybody. I get questions all the time, will I invest? I don't personally invest directly in companies much anymore. I just get too many, but I'm in a bunch of funds and I'm a partner in a bunch of stuff. And this page, we put up this page, it has links to the places that I do most of my investing, and they could be useful to all of you. Startup funding, scottfox.com/startup-funding. Tech Coast Angels is the biggest one I'm involved with, and that's one of the largest angel groups on the West Coast, or in the country, actually, maybe the world. It's 400 of us, and we look at stuff like this all the time. So that would be interesting, and you should look at it. Now, you could use my name or email me about it. I'm happy to help if I can.
Yeah, I feel like because of that place where we're at, where we're raising this, I don't even really want to ask for 3 million yet. We have some discipline and some value in our scrappiness so far that I think will result in a lot of good things. But so we are targeting kind of angel groups as our core.
Well, I would do that. And let me just give you one more tip then, or 2 tips. One is this, actually, Startup Investors Directory. This is a site that we put up a few months ago, and this is the logo, but you can go here. This is for everybody. The number one question I always get is, how do I find investors if I don't know any investors? So we built this. It's got 3,000 early stage investors. It's a search engine, and you can look around, right? And what you want to do is find people and companies, venture firms that have invested in similar products before, and then you contact them. You don't just go and copy everything down and spam, right? So you probably know that, Ryan, but I'm telling everybody. And this code on here, SID launch, it's free. So for you guys. So
cool.
So go check that out, everybody, if you'd like to find investors. And then the other tip was in terms of the amount that you raise. So like I said, we've talked about 1 or 1.2 or even 1.5 is kind of this weird in between. So if you're going to go lower and say the number that you need is 500, just picking a number, don't go raise 500. Say we're looking for 300. And then when you get 300, we're oversubscribed. Oh, wow. Well, we're going to raise it to 400. Oh my God, we're still oversubscribed. It's creating a FOMO, right? It's a marketing exercise. So the amount that you raise, always undersell and over deliver, right? And then you're like, oh my God, we crushed it. This company is amazing, right? And then everybody will tell their friends.
And that's kind of my thought process. I mean, I say 1.2, but if I do a good job, we bring in 2, right?
Yeah, exactly. But like we just talked about, I'd start at 300 and go for 5 or 6, and then do it again at 2 and go for 3. And watch the valuation like we talked about.
Definitely.
Super, man. Well, great.
Thanks, Scott.
Yeah, nice to meet you. So that is our new friend Ryan from San Diego. Just the kind of guy I'm doing this for. He's already got traction. He's talking to customers, making money. Actually, God forbid, he's actually making money. That's a shockingly rare thing in early stage startups. So good job, Ryan. Okay, let's go to, I think Ali was our next pitcher if he's still here. He is. Okay. So Alireza from Los Angeles. Hey, Ali, nice to meet you.
Hey, Scott, how are you doing?
Good. Nice to meet you. So let me just a couple things. So for the rest of you who are backstage, Ashley and Ian, I think you're waiting to ask a question. We can still do that. It looks like we have time. And then we're going to do Ali's pitch. And what else did I want to just throw in here for a second? Yeah, that's enough for now. Let's go. And you guys can see I'm changing the chyrons as we go here and there. So check out these different services that we've built for you. This one they're basically free. We're just trying to launch stuff and cover costs. So we don't make any real money on any of these. And for you guys, it's free. It's literally free with that code. So there's that one. And I wanted to talk about, sorry, Ali, you caught me in a commercial. One second. There's these other two. This is the only calendar in the world for those of you who are not in a big city and you're a founder and you want to go to events because that's the best way to meet investors. You can attend events virtually, right? Just like this one. And this is the only calendar in the world that only lists virtual events only for startup founders. So you should all sign up for it. It's free. We don't make any money on it. It's a community service. And I'm just trying to collect a bunch of information so that you guys and gals who live in smaller towns or not in venture capital centers have a chance to meet the people who make the deals happen. So the startupevents.org. And then this one real quick. The National Startups Directory, same thing here. This would be free for you as well. This is a directory of all the startups who hang out with us, and trying to publicize this so that people can come and get listed. So that if you all get listed in a standardized way, it will mean that investors can find you more easily. So come and list, fill out your form. It's a kind of a little social network sort of thing, right? But we're just trying to aggregate everybody in one place so that it can help you all get found. All right. Thank you, Ali, for your patience. Okay, so Ali's here to talk about catch up. All right, excellent. So thanks for your patience there. I got a couple minutes here. Let's hear about catch up.
Sure. So this is Alireza Bolurci. I am the CEO and co-founder of CatchUp. We are personalizing management for every single employee at the firm. Before I start, I have a question. Have you ever been a manager before, or have you ever had a manager, an employee who had a manager? If you're nodding in agreement, that means you're going to resonate with what I'm about to say. I've trained over 200 managers over the years that impacted thousands of employees. And what I found is there are significant issues with the management in the companies right now. First of all, they are very costly. The performance evaluations are not very accurate, and that would result in low productivity and high turnover. And you might have heard of great resignation and quiet quitting. And with Gen Z's rise and remote working and hybrid working culture, that problem is actually getting amplified. So CatchUp is an AI personalized manager that sits as a team member and helps with doing performance evaluation real time and doing one-on-ones, conversational with the team members. Also, it does talent retention signals, finding out disengagement throughout the work time. Also, it does productivity measurement and coaches team and handhold them to get them better over time. So we built this, Sammy and I, my co-founder, we've been observing and training managers and teams and the best of them over the last decade. And a fun fact, we've been friends for years, for 25 years. We went to the same middle school, high school, university, and we worked together on the startup before. So the timing is right. Gen Z is rising. The remote work and hybrid work is actually happening. And also the AI breakthroughs enabling us to make catch-up work. This was not possible before. So with that, we are asking for 850K to get to 75K MRR. That's going to be 5,000 users. And after 3 months of launching, we got already 150 users in our system. That means 3 startups. We are talking with several other startups right now, and we believe we can make catch-up happen and disrupt the future of work very, very soon. So that was catch-up.
Nice, nicely done. Interesting company. Good for you. That's exciting. That's very cool. And you have a real background in this stuff, which is great. So, okay, everybody, chime in the chat room. Ali's here to hear from all of us, and it sounds like he's been working hard. So, very interesting and nicely done. I would just rearrange it a little. So what we're doing here, right? My feedback would be, you've got a real business here. So I would talk about the business sooner. Like you were talking and I didn't know that you had, 150 users in the system already. You talked about it in, I don't mean that in the wrong way, but it was abstract enough. I wasn't sure that if this had been built yet or not. You know what I mean? So if you actually have an operating business, make that clear soon, right? So that we know, again, it's all about context. We're trying to figure out, as investors, you can see the diverse stuff we get hit with. And we spend so much of our time just trying to figure out what you're talking about and how seriously to take you. Like those are the two critical questions, right? And so, you made it pretty clear what we're talking about, but we're not sure how, how much credibility you have. The only thing you said early on that raised my estimation quickly was that you had trained 200 managers. Like, okay, this isn't a theory. He actually done this, but that still didn't address, are you making any money? Does anybody care? Like in customer land, right? So I would put that up nearer the front. Another way to compress the pitch is it's really dangerous to ask questions of an audience. This is for everybody because you did okay. But I've seen so many founders do this. How many people in the audience, XYZ? And like investors, we don't raise our hands. We don't want the attention because if you're a knucklehead, we don't want to be involved, right? So that rarely works. So it's dangerous. What you did was okay because you asked a question about, how many of you managers, and then you answered it yourself. So it wasn't like a survey. So you got away with it. But still, I'm not sure it buys you very much and it chews up a lot of time. You have an honest to God B2B solution. And I would talk more quickly about the pain points. This is a business proposition, right? Like, here are the problems we solve for business. You know what? If you want to ask a question, I would do this one. How many of you love doing performance reviews? Nobody, right? Anybody who's ever worked at a corporation, as a manager, they're hell. As a subordinate, they're scary as hell, right? That nobody likes that. If you can solve that, like that's your pitch, in my opinion. And I guess you do a bunch of other things too, but like talk about those real pain points. Like who likes doing this? Who does this? How much time do you waste on that? Like that's money, right? As opposed to feel good. It's not a vitamin, it's an aspirin, right? And you want to sell aspirin, like solve that headache. So that would be my approach. I would get to it faster, and because I hate performance evaluations, right? Yeah, because you're stuck, right? You want to be helpful, but you don't want to be mean. But if you say the wrong thing, you get sued. I mean, it's terrible. Okay, so that was good. 150 users in system. That's very good. What you didn't talk about like at all, and this is the real problem, is the business. Like, what's the ROI? Like, how much do you make per contract? Who's the customer? Is it you selling to businesses? Are you selling to individuals? It must be businesses, right? But you got to say that stuff. Like it can be one sentence. Our target customer is this. The average order size is this. It takes us this long to sign the typical contract. Like give us the numbers so that we can start building a model in our head. That's what we're listening for. And the rest is great. Like I kind of know what you do and you seem like a nice guy and you have some credibility, but I have no idea about the ROI. Except you did one thing really well, which nobody else did today, and which you rarely see, which is we're going to take 150K and not just spend it. We're going to turn it into something. You said we're going to have 75,000 a month, monthly recurring revenue. That's fantastic. That was really good. So few people do that. That's what we're here. That's what we're doing here. It may not be what your founders do, but what we're doing is we're putting some money in, and we want to know what we're going to get out and when. So you're the only one today that got even close to that. So I really like that. So anyway, I hope that's helpful. That's a whole bunch of stuff at once, but you can tell I've seen a few pitches.
That was great. Thank you, Scott.
Yeah, you're welcome. And go ahead and watch it in the replay if I was talking too fast. So anybody in the chat room, anybody, let's just see if there's anything to just call out here before we move on. How did you find out about this, Ali?
Actually, I was at the Startup Game Changer the other day.
Where I thought you looked familiar. Oh, yeah. Okay. I hosted a conference last week with a couple hundred people at it. All right. Well, nice to see you again. Good. Well, that inspired you to come here. Good. All right. So lots of comments here. Okay. Well, there's an AI offer. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Good comments. Nothing on fire though. Okay. So go ahead and watch in the replay, and I hope to see you again. That'd be awesome.
Sure. Thanks.
All right. So that was our friend Alireza. Okay. So, all right. We're an hour 15 in. So we got about 15 minutes left. We're going to do some questions here. And Ashley has been patient and Ian as well. So let's see what they've got to say, and I'll try to run through the chat room questions as well. So let's go to Ashley. She's been very patient. Hey, Ashley, nice to meet you.
Hey, nice to meet you.
You said you're East Coast. Where are you on the East Coast?
I'm in Baltimore, Maryland.
Oh, Baltimore. Okay, cool.
Yeah. I actually have a pitch today.
Oh, you do want to pitch? Okay.
Yeah, I have a pitch.
All right, great. Yeah, that's right. You had the pitch. You didn't have the question. Okay, cool. All right, bring it.
Awesome. Well, my name is Ashley Cozy, and I am the CEO and founder of One Recruiter, the platform that's revolutionizing the entire staffing industry. I myself have been an IT recruiter. I've grown a government-funded company from 50 to over 500 employees in just 5 years. So I'm very familiar with the industry. But One Recruiter is a web application that's connecting the most talented independent recruiters in the country with job posting opportunities exclusively from our business partners on the platform. And with that, we're creating a frictionless world where we're automating and managing the critical phases of the interviewing process. So let's throw it down like this. Say that you are hiring a team of developers, right? You have 5 mid-level developers you need to hire, and you got about 30 days with a $600K budget, right? Just flat out. So we have 3 options, the options that's been there since the beginning of time. You got your recruitment agency, right? Decent quality, but they're charging crazy rates. So you're looking at 25%, and that's going to be coming out to around $625,000 out of pocket altogether. So you're already over your budget by $25,000, and it takes them up to 30 to 40 days to find talent. So that's another hitter there. Then you also have your offshore firms, which of course, offshore, lower wages, lower over costs. However, we do run to an issue with the type of candidates that do come over that don't really align well with the company's cultural values sometimes. Sometimes there's a language difference or a time zone difference, or just the practice in general. It's just different continent by continent, which is ideal. But their rates are around 15%. So, I mean, it's like a hit or miss. You get a mixed bag of talent, and they're going to come out to around 575,000. So you're coming under 25,000. And now you have your third option, which is an independent recruiter. Now they're working solo. They charge roughly around the recruitment agency rate, but they're a little bit more flexible. So they're around 23%. So say you buy or you hire them as a service, you'll be spending around 610,000. So you're still over your budget about 10,000. Now you go to One Recruiter, because of the dynamics and the structure of the business, the algorithm that we're using puts our talent at the lowest rate in the market because of the structure of our commission rate. So for example, we will charge 15%, the same as offshore, for the same talent. However, the quality would be 10 times fold. And not only that, we are taking care of the entire process end to end. It's a click, interview, and pay type of process and system. So right now we're in the beta stages at the moment. And with that, we are currently building that out. And that only took us 3 weeks to build out. With that, you can go ahead and use the platform. We have 3 founding recruiters. Between those 3, we have over 45 years of experience altogether in IT, sales, Salesforce, and marketing and advertisement. So those are our expertise areas at the moment. But again, imagine the industry once we start tapping into healthcare, once we start tapping into services in terms of the service industry and other spaces within just talent acquisition in general. Making it to where now companies will go to One Recruiter first and then try other revenues, taking down and competing with big companies like Indeed or, ZipRecruiter. It's no longer your traditional job board, and it's also a quicker turnaround time when it comes to your talent. So in terms of what we're asking for 500,000 in seed funding, and we can guarantee you a 20 times return within 18 months. With that money, we're definitely, of course, going to build out the beta, really focus on the interface when it comes to the business side, because that's our main focus, is streamlining that process for them. And then from there, we're really going to focus on Fortune 500 companies and really trying to create that relationship with at least one to get that exclusivity. And then that's how we're going to continue to build the platform, because the recruiter industry has plenty of recruiters. There's plenty of recruiters out there, But the whole idea is to make sure that there's balance in between the opportunities that are available and the recruiters that are able to fill those opportunities. So that is my pitch in a quick gist in terms of like milestones and things like that. I would definitely go into that, and that is definitely like, again, getting out the beta stage, working on that interface, and focusing on the. Sorry.
Yeah, you're good.
Sorry.
That's all right. It's all right. You get excited, right? That's exciting.
Right.
All right, cool. I thought it was very interesting. And it made me want to ask questions, right? So that's what you're trying to do here. So everybody in the chat room, if you have suggestions for Ashley, please make suggestions. That's why she's here. So interesting. I think there's definitely money in recruiting, right? That's a good thing, right? It's not some unknown market. You can build a platform for that for sure. I like that a lot. You established your credibility very quickly. You helped grow a company from 50 to 500. So you've done this. That's great. You mentioned your team. Sounds like you've got talented folks who are doing this. I really like your second or third sentence. You actually said, a recruiter is this, and this. Like, that's what I've been telling other people to do. Like, tell us what it is. Like, we don't know. We have no idea what you're talking about, right? So tell us, like, make a sentence, and everybody should work on this. It should be like, 8 or 10 words. We're Baskin Robbins. We sell 31 flavors of ice cream to consumers. Got it. Like, help us, right? And now you have mentioned the word exclusive, which is cool because that gives you some sort of buy-in, right? Another question that investors always have is, about competition and intellectual property. So it would be interesting to have heard more about the software you're building. And that's probably where your pitch fell down. I don't understand quite what's unique about the platform because there's lots of platforms doing this, right? There's so much money in this space. It may be okay, but it also may be bad for you, right? I don't like, how are you that different from Indeed or the 48 other similar platforms? And there's been a lot of money made and a lot of money lost in the recruiting space. So you probably want to look at the history a little, just so you have the context. Maybe you have, but it wasn't time for that in this pitch anyway. I liked the 3 levels of analysis. That was very interesting. It gave a structure to the talk, which is useful. I would have called it 4 though, because you made yours the 4th, and that way you're included from the start, right? Just
Right.
Psychologically, I'm waiting for what the last one is, because then you said 3 and we're done. I'm like, well, you didn't talk about you, and then you talked about you, right? That's the easy one. So that was interesting. You could make those a lot tighter, because you need to figure out, this is an example where it will be helpful to know who the audience is, like how much do they know about recruiting already? Because if you're talking to people in the industry, you can just say offshore firms, they take 15%. Next, like one line, right? Whereas me, I don't know that much, so it would take more, right? But either way, you want to get through that section tighter because you spent most of your time talking about other people and you want to talk more about you, right? At the same time, it's really good to understand the landscape and competition. So you just want to do that tighter. So it's good. It just was a little generous compared to what your focus is, which is, why are you such an exciting investment opportunity? You never want to say the word guarantee. Like, you could literally get yourself in legal trouble. Don't say that.
Oh, okay.
Like, right?
Okay.
I mean, you're making an oral contract and you say that, right? Don't do
Right.
that. It's
Okay.
not. We're excited about, we expect, we're highly confident. Like, you can say everything right up.
I
to
gotcha.
it,
Okay.
don't cross that line. That's not good. 500K is a reasonable amount. Again, I would probably say we're raising 300K. And then if you get to 500K, it looks like a big win, just marketing. And then the team was good. And then my last comment, the vision was great. In terms of expanding in other markets and stuff. I would have liked to hear a little more about what's first, right? Because a lot of people want to hit that home run, but like, you got to get on first base so that you make enough revenue to get to second base, right? So absolutely, we need the vision, but that's like the sizzle, right? Like, it's going to be huge, right? But like, where's if we put in 500K, how are you going to make 500K back? Like that, the first dollar is important. And you probably have ideas about that. I'm sure you do, right? So a little more focus on that, like how the engine actually gets going, right? Would be great. But I thought it was good, and you're personable and smiley, and you're a good talker, so that's great.
Nice.
Yeah, you're welcome. So yeah, I hope that was helpful.
It was very
good. All right, well, happy to do it. Happy to help you again if that's worth your time, and we'll see you on LinkedIn. Come join us on LinkedIn and stuff. Yeah, awesome. Nice to meet you, Ashley. All right, so that was our latest friend. We have some groups on LinkedIn, and I forgot to make another comment about this. If you go on LinkedIn, we actually have a private group for people that like the Startup Council, that think like we do, and you can all join it. It's free. and continue these conversations. I don't think I made a Chiron for that. Well, if you go here, this is the LinkedIn for the Startup Council. If you follow that, there's probably other pages, and there's mine is underneath that, right? So the white thing right here, that's the Startup Council to follow the organization, and then the blue one beneath it, that's me personally. So happy to have you come and say hello if you'd like to do that. But please do say hello, because I get so many random spammers that would be helpful. Okay, I'm writing myself a note. 1 second. With the groups link. Okay, so you'll see that next month. Okay. All right, so we're going to take a couple questions here. Ian, yeah, you're up, Ian, and then Malini. Yeah, I don't know if we'll have time, Malini, but if you want to turn your camera on, we can try to cover you a little bit too. Let's see here. What are we doing here? So you are there. Okay, sorry, Malini. She popped in for a second. Okay, so this is our friend Ian, and I think Ian is from, you said you're from England, right? Somewhere in England?
Correct. Hi, can you hear me properly?
Yes.
That's good to hear. How are you doing?
Good, good. What do you want to talk about?
Right, so I've got this very broad but strategic question. I'm in this stage where we have early adopters. We're planning to go into MVP within the next couple of days. Well, then after we gather the feedback, after the trial that we provide, what should we do after? What would be your recommendation?
So you would have some initial users, like 5 or 20 or something like that?
Yes, we got 10, 11, let's call it 10.
Okay. And then so the thing is working. Are you charging money for those first 10, or are they like beta tester friend type free users?
Yes, beta. So we don't pay. They don't pay us anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's more like you test it, and in return, you provide us honest feedback on what you think.
Yeah. Fine. Okay. I'm just trying to understand. Okay. Okay. So what's next? So what's next is you start to think about your growth engine. Like, how do you get those 10 people to tell 10 people, and those 100 people to tell 1,000 people, right? Especially if you can convert some of those into money. So this is the term viral came. Seth Godin wrote a book. I don't know, 15 or 20 years ago. I'm looking down here because I have it somewhere, but it doesn't. You probably believe me, right? There's a book, and he invented the term viral marketing. And the idea is that you like a virus, right? You sneeze on the subway, and 3 or 5 other people get sick, and they spread it. You want to think about that as a way to grow as cheaply as possible. So if you could raise, $1 zillion and spend on advertising, right? But nobody's going to give you money to do that. This is not cost effective. What you want to try to do is figure out viral loops where you can enhance the experience for your beta users and see if they will be so excited about what you're doing that they'll tell their friends for free. And if you can offer some sort of benefit or a download or access to something exclusive, the best offers are those that do something for the recipient, but also make them look cool to their friend, right? So if it's like something exclusive, like a party, right? If you get an invitation and you can bring a +1, you're like, oh, I'm going to this club, but nobody can get in, but you're my bud, so you can come with me, right?
Word of mouth.
Yeah, word of mouth. Yeah, word of mouth. Exactly. So
got it.
Something like that is exciting about your app, so that other people want to tell it. That's the cheapest way to do it. And then the other thing I would start doing is if you're here, you're probably thinking about raising money. And if that's the case, you probably want to start going to investor events as you did today. and maybe you are, but it's for everybody. You can't wait till the day you need the money to go raise money. This isn't like going into a bank and asking for a car loan. You need to develop relationships. And the sooner you start doing that, the better. And you want to target that because you only have so many hours in the day like the rest of us. So you probably want to go to events that target investors in your sector, like software or aerospace or women's tech or whatever it is. And then we also have this directory that I built, I told you about. You can go in there and you can research people's portfolios and figure out who are the investors in your space and start building those relationships. Those are the 2 things I would do.
Got it. And yes, that's very helpful. I know there's someone in front of me, so I'll make it short.
Okay.
The problem with our solution is due to the high level of demand but low level of competition, our pricing will be a premium price.
Okay.
So what would be your take on that? Have you managed to see the email that I've sent you a short introduction about what I do?
I don't know. I get so many emails.
No problem then.
No problem. Sorry.
No problem.
Yeah, we'll
So-
probably get back to you with a link like the ones that I showed earlier. Most of
Yeah,
my,
no problem.
yeah, like this. There's a page here. This is the answer you'll get. Anybody that emails me, I get hundreds. Happy to help, but there's only so much of me, right? So that's where I
Of
would
course.
send.
Yeah. So, you know, as the online education is growing, right, you see much more courses going from A to Z. Now, when it comes to scripting and editing courses, whether you're a consultant or a course seller yourself, they have this pain point of scripting their video sales letters. So I've built this MVP where it analyzes your VSL within few seconds, and then you receive what's good, what you need to change, and users first they script like their first example before they start to record it, right?
Uh-huh.
They script it, they upload it into us, we provide a in-depth analysis. What would be your take on that?
It sounds very interesting. I'm guessing there's some sort of AI involved, so I would use.
Oh yes,
I would
fully
use
AI. Yeah.
use those words because that gets people
Okay.
these days. Yeah, it sounds interesting. I get pitches like that all the time though, so I'd be real careful about competition. When you're somebody like me, you see a lot of that kind of thing, and it's really hard to tell who's who and who's legit. Even if it did work, I get like a dozen of those a day. So I would really think about your differentiation. You know, your branding
Okay.
or your outreach or some kind of your word of mouth marketing. Like if you can get some influencers or something, because credibility is going to be hard to stand out.
Okay.
And the idea I think is a legit thing. Yeah, that's probably all we have time for, but it sounds exciting. Nice work.
Got it. Thank you for your time,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
thank you for organizing this. It's I'll be on the next one. Thank you.
Excellent. You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. So there we go. And then I think we're going to wrap up with Malini, and I will hit the chat room for those of you who've been patient in the chat room. I just wanted to hold on, Malini. Here comes Malini. Let's see. There she is.
Hi.
Oh, hey, Malini.
There we go.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. I think the first thing I'll start with is what is most important to you when you look for a good startup investment, or a list of the most important things?
Sure. That's a good question. It's hard to answer because it's a combination. So you're right. It's not a single answer. It's a combination of why this person, why right now, and do they have the credibility to pull it off? So it's a mix. And it's very personal, right? Because at least at the initial, you're talking about early stage, right? Like idea stage stuff. Yeah. It's
We're building our MVP, but and I don't want to go into too much detail about the product, but at least actually it's an open-ended question. Go ahead with the answer.
Okay. Well, that's the idea. I mean, the short answer. Paul Graham, who started Y Combinator, his answer to that question is how do you find investors? Be investable, right? 2-word answer. Like, what makes you look good? Like, how are we going to make money? It's all those things, right? So there isn't any short answer. I think you asked about red flags. That's easier to answer because Malini sent in. She was one of the good guys. She sent in something in advance so I could think about it a little bit. Red flags are easier, right? It's somebody who who isn't focused, who doesn't have credibility, who doesn't have a team. And a team, this is an important point. Teams are not because as investors, we insist that you have a team, but a team is shorthand for you can convince other people that this is a real thing, right? Just like we want to see customers, we want to see teammates. So you may be a super genius and maybe you could do this all yourself, but that's never happened in the history of the world. So we need to know that you can go out and make friends and talk them into whatever it is that you want to change in the world. And that's why we're looking for teams. So if if you're a poor speaker who doesn't inspire confidence, you're not going to be able to recruit a team or recruit investors, and you're not going to get very far. So unfortunately, it puts a premium on interpersonal skills at the beginning because it's sales, right? You got to get out there and sell it. Is that the kind of thing you meant? Is that helpful or is that too vague?
No, that's great. Would you like to go through the list and pick any question you'd like to answer?
Sure. Well, this is interesting and one I haven't seen before. How do investors recoup their money? from purchasing shares from a startup that has not been public? That's a great question. So when investors put in money, it tends to be like as you're suggesting, it's a private transaction, right? So I invest in Malini's company, and I own, whatever 5% of her company. How do I get that money back? Well, I don't usually until there's what they call an exit. So a traditional business, not a VC-backed business, like if Malini was opening a pizzeria, right, or a t-shirt shop or a nail salon, I might be a part owner, and then they would make money every month and then give me part of that money as a proportion of my ownership, right? Because there's a cash flow. Software type businesses and most high growth startups, med tech or biotech, software, electric vehicles, like all this kind of techie stuff is funded by VC money. And VC money is looking for big exits because there is no way to get the money out until you sell the company. And that means selling the company to another company, a mergers and acquisition, a private transaction, or taking it public, in which case you're listing the shares publicly, and then they have a tradable value. And after a certain amount of time, I could sell the 5% of the company I own out into the public market to other people. So it takes a while. And the typical transaction length for VC investment is 3 to 8 years, something like that. So that's the reason it's so important to find investors who you really like, because you're going to be spending a lot of time with them for a long time. It lasts longer than a lot of marriages, right? So you got to find people who share your vibe and understand the long-term vision that you're trying to affect. And then let me toss in another one. What makes a good pitch deck? Because that's a real common one. Because there are other questions about AI. That's a whole other bucket of worms. So that's some other time. But a pitch deck is simple and short. And there's two kind of pitch decks. One is the kind that you present, in a room, like up on a screen, or here virtually on a screen. And the other is one that you send by email and somebody reads. So the one that somebody reads, like they print out and read or read on their screen, can have a lot more words. This is a dumb distinction, but how many things you put on the slide makes a big difference. Because if you're talking to somebody like me and I get, a dozen a day, I can't digest them. So the first impressions are really important, as stupid as that sounds. But it has to be clean and readable. And if it's an email deck, it can have smaller type with a lot more stuff on the page. But if it's a presentation deck that's going to go up on the screen over here, I'm trying to get my hands on the screen. There we go. Then they've got to be bigger, right? Because you don't want the people reading while you're talking. You want them listening. So it's got to be simpler. And in both cases, what you're doing is basically problem, solution, competition, team, go-to-market strategy, meaning how you're going to acquire customers, business model, like how do you actually make money, and then something about the ask and the return expectation. So if you give us 200 grand, we expect this will grow to this in these ways. That's kind of the model. There's many, many articles online and videos about that. But it's hard to do. And the order changes a little depending on what are your strengths, right? If you have a team full of PhDs from, Stanford, then you might want to lead with that, right? If you already have, $5 million in grant funding from the Department of Defense, meaning that you've got $5 million worth of product development already in there, and you only need another $1 million to go public or something, lead with that, right? So it can vary, but the basic structure is similar all the time. And actually, I review decks all the time if it's helpful to anybody. This is we actually have a site for this. If you send in a deck, I can't get on the phone and talk through it, but I'll make a video. I'll just go through it, boom, 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 for like 15 or 20 minutes and tell you what I think. It's one opinion, but if that's helpful, happy to do that. I guess that's kind of it for now. How's that? Was that helpful?
Yes, very helpful. Thank you so much. Hopefully I'll have a pitch soon and can join again.
Excellent. All right. Well, nice to meet you, Malini. Thanks for joining us. And we'll see you next time. Okay, so there we go. So we are at our pretty much allotted time. Let me just run through the chat room in case anybody pointed out something really stupid I said so that I can apologize. Let me just write that down, though. Okay. So let's run back to the chat room real quick. The chat room was busy today, so thank you all for being here. Oh, I should, another thing is I do a lot of speaking. So if you need a speaker, I'm looking to do more speaking these days, and especially internationally. So if you're watching this later or in other time zones, I do travel a fair bit. I'll be working with some Italian startups tomorrow morning. I was in Australia in the fall, Taipei over the holidays. So I do this kind of speaking all over the world and would be happy to come see you as well. There's details about that on my website. Okay, let's go back to and I can do remote stuff too, if that's helpful, because sometimes it's not worth, flying all the way there. All right, so working on the questions here. Are my books available globally? Yes, absolutely. The books the three in the middle are in English. The other one that's Russian, Turkish, Japanese, there's Vietnamese down there, Polish. Yeah, they're in many languages, and I'm working on some new ones, so stay tuned. But yeah, Amazon.com or bookstores worldwide. Thanks for asking. And the profits from those I give to charity, by the way. So this is not a book commercial. All right, let's see. Okay, Gayatri, you sent me a LinkedIn message. I can't keep up with LinkedIn messages. You're welcome to send questions, short questions through scottfox.com or the Startup Council website. That way my assistant can read them. I can't keep up with LinkedIn messages. It's just it's just another inbox, right? But happy to help if we can. All right. Ian, yes, happy to connect with you on LinkedIn. Yeah. Let's see. Let me back up. So the people that were waiting, let's see. Okay, Marina will pitch next time. Cool. Jay, hey Jay, nice to see you. Let's see. Yeah, then we got full. We didn't get to you today. All good. Yeah, there's a lot of sound checks today. Yep, these are questions for the chats. Okay, good. I'm looking good. AR means augmented reality. Sorry, did I not explain that? I was talking to Andrey. I think AR is augmented reality, kind of like virtual reality. What type of ownership percentage or interest loan return are you willing to give for the 300K? Oh, that was a question for the pitch. Yeah, not for me. Okay, cool. QR codes, yes. Yes, I agree. The QR code question was on my mind as well. Yep. Okay, this is interesting. So when we do these pitch ones, you guys are offering suggestions to the pitcher, not to me. That's great. That's great. Okay. How to pitch an idea that is very technical, like accounting tools. People may not be familiar with the product you want to sell due to not being in the field. Yeah, that's a good question, Dasha. The pitching technical things is a challenge, and you need to work that much harder on the pitch, and you just got to simplify it, right? You really got to get out of your own head and realize what people don't know. Right? Like I was talking with, who was it earlier? Ryan, right? Like Ryan was talking about sports coaching, and I didn't realize that was an industry, right? And so he kind of skipped over defining it, and it left me distracted through the rest of the pitch. So you've got to nail the stuff down first. What does your company do in layman's terms? It's often easier if you position it as a problem that's being solved rather than trying to explain the situation. Like we talked about with Alireza, the performance reviews are this, and they are a problem because, and then you're the solution. Rather than, in other words, the best pitches start with the benefits, not the features, right? So solve the problem for me, and then I'll understand who the customer is, and that leads you naturally to the business model. So I would try to do that, break it down to be as clear as possible from the beginning. Yeah, good questions here. Good. Yeah, a lot of questions about the 10 million that Laszlo wanted. Yeah, I agree with that. The time limit, we were doing 2-minute pitches, Kevmo. That's pretty arbitrary, but oh yeah, people answered him. Thank you. Okay. Yeah. Okay, and anybody that's still here, you can put your URLs in the chat. That's fine. I don't mind self-promotion. Let's see. Yeah, that's a good question. Is there a speaker agenda and who pitched? BR asked that. No, but we'll do a show notes and post it in the blog post and on YouTube as a comment so that hopefully you can find these folks and connect with them. Because yeah, some really talented people today. That was great. And I think we're getting all down to the end. Andrey says, back to the technical question, investors care about money, not technology. That's right. Yep. Focus on revenue, market size, characteristics, et cetera. He's right. I like the problem solution, at least gives me some context. But again, as founders, we love to talk about what we're building because that's why we do it. But investors are the other way around. How do you make the money and then the product, right? So business first, product second. That was my recommendation to all of you. And I think we might be about finished here. So let me just check my notes and then we'll let you go. Yeah. So Our sponsors are these sites that I built for you guys. So please go and check these out. StartupInvestorsDirectory.com, NationalStartupsDirectory.com. That's the Startup Council. You like this? High tech, right? StartupEvents.com. And then I run these workshops as well. We didn't even talk about that today. We run workshops online that are just like this, but everybody gets to talk. It's not just me. It's everybody interactive on a Zoom call. And I do those every month or two. Happy to see you at those as well. So that's what we've got for today. I'm Scott Fox. You've been watching Startup Office Hours. And this is a free service of the Startup Council. So if you're not on the Startup Council mailing list yet, please do join us. We're doing it for free for you, trying to build the community that rises the tide that lifts all the boats to get past some of that gatekeeping that Silicon Valley does so well and get the rest of you involved, making money, changing the world, making the world a better place. And hope to see you again next month. So thanks for watching. And again, please like, subscribe, make a comment, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Thanks for being here. We'll see you again soon. Bye now.